today's job, this install is kind of a special one. So this is a friend of my wife's, and they recently had a tragedy happen within their family, with their kids. And I'm not going to go into the details, but it's pretty heartbreaking. And you know, a lot of people in their community has really stepped up and helped out. And you know, hearing the story when it happened, I wanted to do something as well. And it's just crazy how it turned out that they had a cracked heat exchanger in their unit, and they were wanting to get the heat exchanger replaced because they couldn't really, you know, couldn't afford to get a new unit right now. And we're going into the, you know, cooler season, and they needed to get it fixed. So I went ahead, you know, talked to my wife about it, and I was like, why don't we just give them a new unit? Definitely gonna need a pad. So on this job, I'm going to be using a subcontractor to really help me out with this install. That's kind of what I've been doing lately. I've got a new technician. I try to keep him busy with maintenances, service calls, that sort of thing. So if we have installs, I'll use this guy. He's got a decent sized crew, so they're pretty quick. They do good work. They're very flexible with their schedule, which is amazing. Very, very helpful. So far, it's been working out great. Anyway, I got to go run and get a pad for this unit, because we're obviously that old train is really small compared to the Goodman unit that we're going to be going with. So anyway, got to grab that pad, maybe some gas pipe. Should be good. I think I've got everything else. Real quick, I want to talk about today's sponsor of the video. It is Free to Grow AI answering service. Now, for a while, I've been running this company all by myself, answering the phone calls, doing the installs, running the service calls, everything. And it's been a lot. And on top of that, trying to deal with customers or those spam calls, it gets on your nerves, it wastes time, and it distracts you from the work at hand. So to have an answering service like Free to Grow, where they can answer those calls for you, filter out those spam calls, but most importantly, they're able to talk to those customers and get them scheduled directly into your CRM. So for me, I'm using HOUSECALL PRO. It has access to my schedule, so it knows when I'm available, and it can schedule right away on that call with that customer. That's fantastic. So if you're in the market for an awesome answering service, check out Free to Grow. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Also, check out this phone number here. It's a demo line. You can call them, and you can just kind of play with it and listen to it for yourself and see how amazing it is. Thanks Free to Grow for sponsoring this video.
You said plastic, correct?
Yeah, if you've got it.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any gas piping as well? 1/2 inch.
¿Qué tanto?
I've got a shovel. Okay. Yeah, it's I guess considered Beach Grove. Are you familiar with that area? Yeah. So what time do you think you'll be able to have it delivered? Alright, so that went pretty smooth, other than having to run back and forth to the parts house 3 different times. It's really my fault. I just wasn't paying attention to detail. The first time I went back was the hood, the shroud that I originally bought was just too short for this particular job. It was 18 inches long and we needed 24 inches. So I returned the 18-inch hood and got a 24-inch, came back and realized it wasn't the right hood for the square chassis. So it wasn't wide enough to cover the duct. Or no, I think it wasn't tall enough, rather. It wasn't tall enough. So I had to go back again to hunt down another hood from a different location, because the first supply house didn't even offer one that I needed. So anyway, you know, it's 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, dealing with the people there, you know, so you're spending an hour each time. So it ended up taking the install longer than it should, but that's how it goes sometimes. You just learn from it and you move on. So next time I do that style of a unit, I'm just gonna make sure I get the biggest hood, the one we used today, and that way we can just cut it down to size depending on the application. Even if we need a shorter hood, we can cut it down. So anyway, that was today's learning lesson. Other than that, it went fine. I think it turned out pretty good. You know, it's never going to be absolutely the way I would do it if I was doing it by myself, which is understandable, but I'm still very grateful for the help. You know, I'm able to have my tech out running calls while we tackle this change out, and all I really have to do is the electrical. That's kind of like the deal with this particular subcontractor. They will do all the work other than wiring it up, and if it's a split unit, they won't braze it, you know, pull the vacuum, that sort of thing, which is fine, because those are the kind of things that I would prefer to do anyway, to make sure they're done, you know, properly, especially when you're brazing, you know, purging nitrogen and pulling a vacuum, there's no leaks. That kind of stuff is very important. So I prefer to do that little bit of work on a change out, at least for now. Now, I'm in the growing period of my business. That's why I'm using these subcontractors to help us kind of move things along. Eventually, maybe next spring, hopefully, I'll be ready to hire an actual full-on install crew. And then at that point, it'll be different, right? I can train the guys to do things the way, I want them done, that sort of thing. So anyway, but all in all, I'm very happy to have these guys in my corner. They're awesome to work with. So I can't really complain. But anyway, I just got to get some def now and head on down the road.